The world's biodiversity is facing a crisis. Climate change, habitat loss, and pollution are threatening species globally. But the effects can also be seen much closer to home.
Here, on the small island of Alderney, which is part of the Channel Islands, changes in the environment are having a direct impact on the local wildlife. So, I've come to see for myself how the island's biodiversity is being affected.
We're starting with Britain's biggest seabird, the gannet. Alderney is famous for its gannet colony, which is home to thousands of birds.
These birds are expert fishers, but as ocean temperatures rise, they're having to travel further to find food.
So this is our last commercial fishing boat.
To tell me more is Alex, a scientist from the Alderney Wildlife Trust, who's been studying these shores for years and is tracking how climate change and people are transforming the island's wildlife. He's taken me out to see the local gannet colony.
I'll tell you what, one of the best places to dive is
So we're surrounded by thousands of gannets here. What sort of challenges do these guys face?
As sea temperatures get warmer, fish, they're moving further north, and that means the gannets have to travel further and further to find them. We even had one gannet which flew all the way to Norway and back on a round trip. Also, with things like increasing storm events, it's making it more difficult for them to survive on their nests.
And I've heard their nests are actually made out of plastic. How does that happen?
They've got to build big nests, and they like to grab things like seaweed, naturally, for those nests. Problem is, to a gannet, plastic actually looks like a great nesting material as well. And every year we might lose, between 10 and even 50 gannets to getting entangled on this colony behind us. There is some hope soon to try and do some initiatives to remove some of that plastic from the stacks. If they eat it, that can get entangled in their stomach. But the worst one for gannets is actually getting entangled in it themselves.
And it's not just plastic pollution harming the island's wildlife. Sea temperatures in the Channel Islands have increased by 1.7 degrees Celsius since 1980, and that's bringing new species to Alderney's shores, which can have a big impact on local biodiversity.
We have a lot of crabs here on Alderney, and actually it's our main fishery. Lots of the fishermen go and they hunt for edible crabs. But in the last few years, we've had a new species arrive, and they're now starting to replace the edible crabs and the other native species like green shore crabs. 10 years ago, you would have gone out, you wouldn't have seen a single furrowed crab, but now you'll go out there and you'll find 10 furrowed crabs under every single rock. It's really alarming, and it's just a complete symptom of climate change. This is happening in the Channel Islands now, but you can guarantee that in the next year, it'll be happening all over the UK.
And why is it a problem that invasive species are coming to the islands?
They can then take over habitats or outcompete native species, and it means that overall our biodiversity will go down. This can have really bad impacts on the ecosystem as a whole.
What would you say is the best way that we can prevent warming seas?
Try and be as green as possible, cycle or walk instead of driving to work, take the bus or the train. What you can also do is you can campaign. So you can write to your local MP or your local councillor. All those things, they really help.
Alderney is seeing firsthand the effects of climate change. But with scientists like Alex monitoring these changes, the island is fighting back and trying to protect its biodiversity for future generations.